Lord, radicalize me with age.
Some people think that when you wake up, you should stay laying down for as long as possible. Um, it helps you be more creative because you remember your dreams, because all of the dream blood is still in your brains and it hasn't drained out yet, you know. At this point in my life, I would rather death near chocolate than death by chocolate. It's also the point of the summer right now where I suspect that my air conditioning is poisoning me. I don't know if any of you have felt like this thing that has really been your ally through the summer. You begin to think it might be betraying you by like poisoning you with spores and dust. And that's where I'm at right now. I can't believe how many birds there are out. Have you ever seen a picture of a whale from above? Like maybe there's a boat and then you see the whale underneath it. They always enthrall me. It seems so scary but so cool. I would find that when I'm in the water, because I'm so low to it, I can't see underneath it. And I think about how smart whales are and that they are somewhere having their own complicated lives and thoughts. There's so many thoughts in the world, let alone animals, and thoughts are just moving so fast and so delicately because they're just electricity in like blood and tissue. You know, as I get older, I feel like I'm losing my marketability, whatever that means, or like the world is no longer made for me or doesn't have as much need for me. But I think I could also think of it as like whatever contrivance I have on top of me is falling away and I'm becoming less opaque, and whatever like the true part of me can just sort of like shine out and I can just walk around softly glowing. I always hated saying goodbye for college because it happened in the morning. Like you'd eat breakfast, finish packing, and then say goodbye, and then you'd go to bed in a different place than when you woke up. And I always found that heartbreaking. I think the better way to say goodbye is at night, so then you could just go right to bed and sleep instead of feeling sad. Now, that's a much less noble way to do it, but that's how I would prefer to do it. Sometimes I really hate my ideas and sometimes I like them, you know. I wish I had the mind of a genius and the body of like a strong, mature elk or like a workhorse, but also with regular feet so I could wear great shoes. I think everybody I pass by has better shoes than I do. Ideally, I think, everybody would get a universal income. They would get money, education, and healthcare. And I would also get a Nintendo Switch. And then people would get money that they could spend, however they saw fit. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess my main financial plan is finding a treasure or a valuable dinosaur bone or something. You know, We live in a world that assumes that pirates bury their treasure right on shore. Like as soon as they land, they dig a hole and put all their gold in it. And I don't think that's the way it works, is what I'm trying to tell you. Sometimes when I'm riding my bike and I hear a motorcycle, I imagine that my bike is making the sound of the motorcycle and that I'm driving the motorcycle. I've read A Brief History of Time, but what's been going on lately? I bet 1,000 years ago, I would have been the wisest man in the village. Maybe 10,000. 100,000 years, forget about it. I'm your guy. Well, this is the Humane Society for September. I'm Chris Roberti. Thank you for watching this far. I'm at your service.
You okay, honey?
Becky!
What?
Becky!
What?
Hey! I just said your name.
Becky?
Yeah.
Oh, Chris.
What's up?
What?
What's up?
Oh, what's up?
Yeah, nothing.
What are you doing up there?
Oh, I'm filming an episode of a Humane Society. You can check it out at a_humanesociety.com.
Anyway, do you have our golden Amex up there by any chance?
Yeah, I think so.
I need the number. I'm on Amazon right now. Wait, hold. Okay, I need it.
I don't think we should be yelling the number like this.
What?
Never mind. Okay. 81 283 064 005 1202.
Honey, that was the worst reading of a number ever.
Well, I was trying to like mix it up so that these
I
people
get it,
can't
that's
hear
smart,
it.
but nobody's listening. Can you do it like in nice, neat 4-number chunks?
All right.
Go ahead.
8128.
Wait, start over.
8128.
8128
3064
3064
4005
4005
1202.
1232. Okay, got it. What's the expiration date?
04/2024.
What? Doesn't that just seem so far away?
I know. I can't believe it's almost 2020.
Me neither. Okay, now I need that little 3-digit secret
I'm not
number
going
on
to
the
give
back.
the secret code.
Be brave, honey. Don't worry about it.
071.
All right. Thanks, hon. Now I need your social security number.
For Amazon?
No, it's for something completely different.
I'm not going to give my social security card number like
No,
this.
nobody cares about you on this street.
What?
Nobody cares about you. I do. I do deeply, honey, but nobody else does. Give me that sweet SSN.
127
Got it?
23
Yup.
005 2.
Got it. Okay, now Gmail password?
No, I'm not going to. That's too much.
I need it.
It's
Go
Bill
on.
and Ted's Bogus Journey. The and is the N sign. The E's are 3s, and the S's are Z's.
Got it. Bill and Ted's. Nerd.
I'm not a nerd.
Okay, see ya.
Oh, Becky, come on up and give me a kiss or something.
I'm not going up there. You get struck by lightning.
I'm not gonna get struck by lightning.
Love you, honey.
Love you. Oh, if you're going to Rite Aid, can you get me some of that hemorrhoid
Hemorrhoid
medicine?
medicine.
Yeah.
You got it, babe. Love you.
Love you, Hawk. Daddy loves you. Hi, would you have lunch with me? I want to tell you a story about Around the Clock, which was like my first regular spot in New York City. It was on 9th Street and 3rd Avenue, right next to the St. Mark's bookstore before that closed. You know, nothing lasts, and that's kind of okay. I'm not even sad that it's not around anymore. It was called Around the Clock because it was open around the clock, you know, 24/7. And the bathroom was downstairs and it had neon splatter paint all over it. I usually would just go with Steve, but sometimes I'd go alone. And like, once I went with this woman who I used to be in love with, and she saw Ira Glass walk by. And she left to go say hi to him, but I stayed inside Around the Clock because I have this thing with celebrities where I'd rather meet them when we're both equally famous or at some event where like it has nothing to do with their celebrity, so I can pretend to not know them for a while, you know? We called the block that it was on, Steve and I, we called it Tragedy Block. We had, Comedy Block was between 1st Avenue and 2nd Avenue on 9th Street, and Tragedy Block was between 2nd Ave and 3rd Ave. And the reason that we called the Around the Clock block Tragedy Block is one time we saw a woman carrying like a compressed air generator, you know, used for balloons. But so that belonged on Comedy Block. But it was so cold out, and she was she hunched her shoulders up to the wind and said, "Ow." So that was a tragedy for her. So that's why that belongs there. Also, we saw people puking, I think, on Tragedy Block. So, you know, the first hint that I got that something was going wrong with Around the Clock Steve and I went, it was probably like 11 o'clock or something on a Monday or Tuesday night. And something was off. We went in, all the lights were on, some of the artwork had been taken down. There was a man in sort of like all beige just standing there looking at us. And I said, "You're open, right?" And he didn't say anything. And I said, "Around the clock, right?" And he said, "No, we're only open around the clock some days, like on the weekends." And then they closed for the winter, and they said something like, we're open again in the summer of like 2009, but they never opened. And I guess that was that, you know? I think I got to New York too late. New York used to be like fun, I think, a little dangerous. But I got there, it was like 5 years after 9/11. It was pretty safe. It was expensive, but easy. Around the Clock was sort of maybe some access to this old New York, and so I really romanticized it, you know? I'm not like, what's that woman's name? Not Grace Paley. The woman who wrote, what the hell is the name of that thing? Goodbye to All That and A Year of Magical Thinking. Joan Didion. I'm not like Joan Didion, you know, I don't have really great things to say about things. But anyway, it was nice to have a place that you could go to. And it was right on 3rd Avenue, which is a two-way street. And so that you'd see the lights of the cars coming at you and going away from you at the same time, which was nice. And then after eating, Steve and I would go to some bar like Doc Holliday's or Lucy's. It smelled like a fight or like puke. And then we'd, go home maybe, and that would be that. I think my first time in New York was like you could do anything you wanted to, nobody really cared. Which was exhilarating at first and then exhausting. I've got other New York stories that I could bore you with, but I'll spare you. I'm almost done with my water. Sometimes it's just nice to eat in silence, I told you that we could eat in silence, but I just had this thought that we think we're this solid thing, like a solid person. But if we think of ourselves more as a liquid, then I think we maybe accept change a little better and don't hold on so tightly to something we thought we were. Or people, other people in our lives are more water than whatever, rock. I guess, can I talk to you?
Yeah.
So the idea, I think, for the live show, which turned into Humane Society, ultimately it got to this place that it was about my friend's daughter who died very suddenly at a very young age. And I had been doing the show, and I think that happened. And I thought, well, if these people who I cared very much about were to come to the show, would I say anything in the show that I would feel disingenuous saying to them,
Why? Because they're going through it now.
Well, because I think it wouldn't be true. So that was the thing, like, could I say this? Am I in denial of some real thing, some real truth about life, And so I wanted not to be in denial or not turning away from things that were painful or something, Would you take this? I mean, I think the people that I like most and that inspired the show and then the Humane Society are like Hardy White or Joe Frank, who I'm wearing the Joe Frank shirt right now. There's something like mysterious and kind and dark, and I really love that. I think that's religion at its best, the mystery. And I think where a lot of religions fail is that they try to answer all of the mystery. We don't know, and you can't know, and you just have to hang out together not knowing.
I'm not going to say that you're a bad
Look how much
comedian.
more I have to do. It's really disheartening.
Do you feel drunk?
Yeah, I feel like I probably will puke too. I got this fortune cookie once that said, trying hard is kind of a success. Or, no, trying hard is a kind of success, not kind of a success. But that's funny. I think that's comedy. And I was just because I messed it up. I want Hawk to be able to see her father as a young man just trying to make stuff, trying to, be okay with being scared or having fear and that she doesn't, I have no expectation of her or, because I have so little expectation of myself. No, that's not true. So lately I've been thinking I just want to leave the city, which in a lot of ways I think is almost like a kind of death. And before I had a child, I would look at people who left the city and be like, oh, well, they kind of gave up. And maybe that's true, but also I'm thinking about the beauty in giving up and saying like, for like what? I'd like to live in nature and just hang out and spend time with Hawk and, you know, chop wood. But I would still want to do this. And I don't know if you'd be willing to make a trip into the country. But I think what this is, for me, it's writing and thinking with no aspirations of trying to be marketable, no real dream of making money off of it. It's like a hug or something. God, that sounds terrible. It's like just company for people, I think. I want to be company for people, I think, because these other artists have been company for me. I desperately sometimes really want to be famous and be successful and be on like all these podcasts and make jokes and have everyone say how funny, you know. When I realize I don't have that, and most likely that won't come to me, it hurts. You know, I like edited for JWoww and Snooki, which is awful, but they paid me a lot of money to do that. It was worth money, but it wasn't worthwhile. And it's like, this, for whatever reason, feels good. It makes me feel good. It's enacting my penance. I have this idea that part of the work I do is like penitence for not being there for friends and loved ones in the way that I know I should have been. One time I got so drunk on wine that I had to sleep in my car, and I spit. After throwing up in a nearby bathroom a bunch, I woke up the next morning, there was like spit all over my window because I thought the window was open, I guess, and in the night, totally unbeknownst, I was like spitting out the window of the car, but it was, the window was closed. I've eaten so much, and every time I overeat, I think I'm never gonna do this again, and I always do, and I think that's what it is to be human. Like, we know better, but we can't do better, you know? Do you think the viewers of Humane Society will find any of this interesting?
Yeah, I think it's like certainly a different tone though. Like, it'll feel different.
That's good, that's our goal.
Yeah, like I think it'll be, I mean, I don't know, like, the people who like Humane Society, I think, will like it.
Our true fans are gonna go with us, I think.
I don't know if we're gonna catch any new audience. Who knows?
There's nothing sexy about the Humane Society, and I like that, I think. Did I tell you that I found the secret of life?
No.
I'm trying to think if I need to save this for something else, but what everyone wants is just one more moment of love. And maybe that means with a relationship or with a family member or with, I don't know, a job or something. Everyone is just going for that next moment, that next whatever package of time of feeling love or feeling loved. And that's it. And like addiction, I think, comes out of that, and kind of all betrayal comes out of that. But I really think that is what people are striving for. And it's nice to look at as all these lights are on, all these different lives that people are living. And I think if I could, I would just give them that. I don't know that it would change their life or anything, but it would satisfy them until the next moment of wanting.
Statistically, never.
There's no poem this month. Last month took it out of me, so you don't get a poem because there isn't one. This isn't a poem. This is not a poem. Nothing I do is a poem. A poem is a diamond and I'm glass. A poem is a forest fire, and I am a dropped flashlight. A poem is Swan Lake, and I'm a carrot stalk. A poem is a kiss, and I am a cough. Whatever. Whatever place this month's poem would have taken in your life, fill it with something else. Cheat on it with a beer or a new toy or a piece of candy. No harm done. This poem wouldn't have come ever to pick you up from soccer practice or after the dance or from the airport. You'd just be waiting, you know? And when you're waiting, everyone you see looks like the person you're waiting for. You keep thinking, it's him, it can't be him, it is him, it must be him, it's gotta be him. You drive yourself crazy. But, you know, it's not him. Fuck. Let's just keep going. You drive yourself crazy saying it's him, it can't be him. But it's him. It must be him. It's him. He's come to get me. Let me chew my gum. Let me get my bag. He's here for me. This month you're wrong. No one's coming for you. No matter what lie you dream up to tell yourself, no one's coming. You'll sit outside all night. You'll ruin your hair with the dew.
One in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. One in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. Look at the cash, look at the